Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Everything is fine here on Detention Block AA 23, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Mike, joined by Bogie, here to talk Star Wars with all you fans out there. First thing, let's get the business elements out of the way. If you're listening to this right now, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment, rate, review, all the above. We greatly appreciate it. Any little thing you can do definitely helps us out in the long run in getting our podcast and YouTube name out there amongst all the other Star Wars channels, and there are quite a bit. And as a reminder, once we hit 200 subscribers, we will have a prize giveaway, a drawing. So looking forward to getting rid of some Star Wars shit for all you listeners out there. Make sure to be public on YouTube so that I know who you are to include you in on the drawing. So again, we have stuff we want to give away. We'll do it at 200, and then we'll have another big prize to give away at 500. So, hey, got to get through that first hurdle of the smaller prize at 200 to get to the big one at 500. So, but you're going to definitely want that 500 one because I already know what I'm getting for everyone. So, on top of that, our chat is up and running. So, drop your ideas, thoughts, opinions as we're going along this episode, and we'll bring it into the conversations just as much as Bogie and I are a part of it. So, we love hearing from you guys. So, come talk to us. All right. Well, I know, and we'll get to it. The main thing we wanted to talk about today is Tales of the Underworld. We haven't, it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded last, and it's been a while since Tales of the Underworld has been released. So we definitely want to get to that stuff. But first we wanted to talk some Andor, and I know that Bogie has a little public announcement or public apology, I guess I should say. So. What is this all about, Bogie?
I want to apologize from our last recording. I said the famous quote that Luthen said was, I had said, I have many friends. I got that wrong. I have friends everywhere.
How dare you,
Want,
Bogie?
just want to make a correction. Slap on me, like.
Hey, and that was all you brought that up yourself. Like no one was like, Bogie, how dare you say that? You were wrong. No, he's a true fan and wants to publicly apologize. He doesn't need to. I don't know why, but
I just had to apologize. And I've been seeing some merch out there that has the Andor
oh,
figure,
okay.
and it says I have friends everywhere. I'm like, I got it wrong. I gotta apologize to our fan base.
So now that will just be a forever reminder. Now you just need to get that shirt, and it's just going to always remind you that you said
I
it
messed
wrong
up.
on the recording.
You got
Maybe
it
it's a
fucked up,
shirt I will
AA
get, and
Ron.
I'll wear it every recording just as a gentle reminder. Because I don't know if you fans have noticed, but like every day I try to wear a new Star Wars shirt or item of clothing. Sometimes it's just a hat, but I have way too much Star Wars crap if you couldn't tell. I mean, if you're watching our YouTube channel right now, you see that I have all this shit behind me. I
Yeah,
won't call it that.
I'm gonna break in and steal all of it.
Was it when you were over here last time? Was Theo was here for a little bit too, wasn't he?
No.
Oh, who was it? It was the oh no, sorry. It was I have another buddy and he came and he brought his son and he was walking around and he just had like these eyes like I want to play with everything back here. And his dad was like, he's like, no, those aren't for playing. You can only look at them. And I'm like, oh, I feel so bad right now. This is like torture. Because
Why
if
don't
I
I?
was a kid, I'd be like, oh, I want to play with those.
You probably thought the last time I was there, I was like walking around your
Oh,
desk,
that's
just looking.
true.
I was
That's
looking at
right.
everything
You
like
were the kid looking at all this stuff.
I was like, I definitely grabbed one of your lightsabers and picked that up. I was like, oh, he's probably gonna yell at me to put it down.
No, I don't get like
I know,
play with
but
them.
we were
Because
all like, I don't, because when I started looking around, then like I think Peterson, Novak, who I forget who else, we were all of a sudden just like ooh and on all over your Star Wars stuff. But I know there's always been a thing like when Theo is ever at Peterson's, because Peterson's got a bunch of like Lego stuff,
yeah.
and he starts playing, and then Peterson's like, "No, put that down." Like you're gonna break it. You're gonna be Harrison Ford when he had the Millennium Falcon. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Whoa!"
Wasn't that like fake or something like that?
Yeah, it
Because
was staged. It
it
was
was
staged.
staged. Yeah,
Yeah, later on, it was confirmed that it was staged.
that's
That
hilarious.
they told him to do that. So
Okay. Speaking of Peterson, we need to convince you probably would do or a better job at it of him coming on. What was his stipulation? Like he would come on if someone else came on, or
I I don't know. I could try to talk to him again.
was it like him if Ryan came on too or something? I don't know. It was like
Maybe, but
someone else came on.
he makes it sound like he's not the biggest fan of like podcasts and just like I was like, well, it's like sitting around a fire shooting the shit. Like,
Yeah. Could be like the color guy in sports that, you don't have to like take the lead on anything, but hey, throw in your opinion here a little
yeah,
bit. He's
yeah.
very knowledgeable.
So maybe this weekend I'll try to see if I can convince him one of these times. Because like usually should be free and stay. He's kind of a night owl, so
I think he would warm up to it. I think he would enjoy it.
I think it was just a matter of like I think maybe technology or not. I don't know if his computer can't. But I was like, I have a shitty computer and I'm still making it work.
Yeah, mine is terrible. Like I bet he's more technologically advanced than like me for sure. So I
Yeah,
feel like whatever he has is better. I mean, I don't know. He could probably does he have like a gaming console or anything? Because that would probably do better than this.
yeah, I think he does. He makes it sound like though it's old and it's slow and it's probably like memory's like full or I don't.
This
Well,
computer that I'm using is my brother's from like 15 years ago, which I need a new computer. But no, but it would be great to have some more people come on and talk. So I would love to get Peterson on and maybe we can do some convincing.
and heck, even if we can get Ryan, because half the time he's the one in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's hilarious. Ryan, are you
Oh, whatever,
there? Are you there?
whatever whatever his username is.
Yeah, I forget. But yeah,
Because he
we
told me, I was like, "That was you." He's like, "Yeah, that's me."
it's hilarious. Yeah, because he's jumped on, I think, a couple of times.
Okay.
When I see the name again, I'll recognize it. But I can't think of it off the top of my head. Um, but speaking of Andor, before we jump into Tales in the Underworld, I just, now that some time, even more time has gone by, like I just keep feeling more of an appreciation for that show and just more of an understanding of how awesome it really is and how impactful it's been for like the story and the franchise of Star Wars because I, I mean I think we spoke about this before, but it makes Rogue One a lot better. But then subsequently, it also makes like A New Hope that much better and like the original trilogy that much better.
It
Like
shows like the stakes and sacrifices like throughout the whole journey
yeah,
leading up to New Hope.
yeah, and I did a little like 30-60 second reel the other day talking about like to your point of, this how high the stakes are. I mean, can you imagine the people from the movie A New Hope, the people that are on Yavin, the Death Star is kind of closing in on blowing their rebel base up. And they're following like the pilots that are flying and they're following Luke and he's got his like targeting system on. And then all of a sudden they see that he turns off his targeting system. Can you imagine the exact like what the hell is this guy doing? Like do you know how much has been put into this? Like, how much has been sacrificed, and you're turning off your targeting device? What the hell are you doing, farm boy? Like,
Barn boy, this isn't a broadside barn door that we're shooting at.
yeah. Can you imagine if like Luthen or like Saw Gerrera is like a co-pilot behind him? Like, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, turn
What's
that
this guy
thing back
doing?
on. Oh, it's okay. All right. And then gonna use I mean, I know he doesn't say this, but I'm gonna use the Force. What are you talking about? You just learned about the Force not too long ago. But what I'm just trying to say is like it just it makes that moment like so much more intense, like knowing how much is invested in this and like knowing like the Gorman massacre and the riots and massacre on Ferrix and those were just two locations that they showed. The Empire was doing it around the whole galaxy, having similar type confrontations and probably massacres for the resources or the things that they needed. So it just it just raises the stakes of A New Hope, and it at the same time it does not diminish like Luke Skywalker being a hero, because a lot of times you might think like, well, it because all this weight has been brought in and all these other things have taken place, it kind of diminishes his role, like Luke Skywalker's role in Star Wars or in A New Hope. And I think on the contrary, I think it only makes him more of a hero because it, and not only that, it adds so many more heroes that did different things along the way as well, like what Cassian's done, what Luthen's done, what Mon Mothma has done, and all the rebels and everything. So it really shows how much goes into defeating something so evil as like the Galactic Empire. So, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean everything you said. I guess I really don't know what to really add. Everything you said is you hit the head or you hit the nail on the head. Like just great, just great story writing. Great,
Yeah,
just across the board. I can't think of like. I'm curious because we were talking previously about like the IMDb scores on all
yeah,
these episodes, and they're like high up there. There's like a Mandalorian episode that might sneak in there in between, but like rest of these episodes are like one of the best Star Wars episodes in, I guess you want to call it like Star Wars TV
yep,
series.
yep, yeah.
I
The
mean, what
last 5 episodes of Andor are in the top six of at least
all
when I
time?
saw of rankings from IMDb, um, which is impressive because I mean, Mandalorian was a great show. Season 3 is kind of, but like there are good episodes in that, and some of the other shows are definitely hit or miss, but there are great episodes in many of those shows. So
I mean, if
just
you
as
look at Book of Book of Boba Fett, people are probably like down low on that, but
yeah,
I thought it still had a couple good episodes. I mean, granted, sure, the one episode Mandalorian stole
yeah,
when he builds his whatever N1 Naboo
yeah.
fighter. Like
I just saw that episode the other day. It's so
I
good.
absolutely love that episode.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite. I've rewatched that so many times just watching him rebuild and everything he does.
yeah. And you get the dark saber fight with him and the like berserker guy Vizsla. I
Oh
forget,
yeah,
Paz
yeah.
Vizsla,
Yep.
I think it is.
In the beginning of the
Yep,
episode. And
yep,
then his bounty in the first part, how it was like a continuous one take the
yeah.
whole way of him then taking them out and then he like delivers, the
The
bounty's
head.
head.
Yep.
Like it was just a continuous one take. And it was funny too, he was like holding the head in the like whatever casket bag,
Bag.
whatever wrap. And he gets in the elevator, and the one alien lady like walks in, and she goes, I'm getting off on the next stop." She just like bolts.
Well, it's funny
'Cause you could,
because Mando like starts turning towards it and it just straightens up, like
yeah,
looks forward again. Oh. And then he drops the bounty off and he leaves and he's like, you might want to put that on ice.
yeah. You want to put that on ice? I'll
Yeah,
bring you in warm, or I'll bring
I'll
you in
bring in
cold.
yeah. No, I like that episode. And the one after it with, isn't that the one with Luke Skywalker again? And
Yeah, you
uh,
get some like Ahsoka in there too, and
get a little Jedi training and stuff. So that was pretty good.
and
But
and
and
I
I
I mean I really don't mind the finale, even though maybe some people might think it was like a little corny or kind of. I, the comedy between like what's her name that shows up with Grogu
um
that works at Tatooine that made her helped him make that ship.
yeah, Pelimoto.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then that other guy
Yeah,
who
she
was
like
like the
hooks up with the Twi'lek like introducer guy.
yeah he's like the delegator
Yeah, something like
guy
that.
with the whatever you want to call those tentacle hair things. He was so annoying.
Yeah,
But
he
if you
was.
take that element away, like the rest of it was pretty cool. Like the whole shootout, the fight. I like how like the surprise when Boba Fett and and Mando like fly out of nowhere, and they're just like flying up, just shooting at
Oh
everybody.
yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
that
pretty
was just
sweet.
to start the fight. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what, when people think of Mandalorians or when like Boba and the jetpack, like that's what people want to see is like, let's get
yeah,
this jetpack action, shoot him up type of a thing. And we got more
yeah,
of that in season 3 of Mandalorian, which I know season 3 isn't the greatest in Mandalorian, but again, there's still good stuff in every, season of every show. Um, I loved the like Mandalorian fighting that took place in that season 3, where you just get the jetpack, they're going after Moff Gideon at the end, and they're fighting like the Imperials with the jetpacks and stuff, and seeing all that fighting was really cool. But going back to Book of Boba Fett, like I even really liked the Tusken Raider episodes. Like it was
oh yeah,
fascinating learning about that culture and getting to see a different like a misunderstood side of Star Wars, because everyone always portrayed the Tusken Raiders as being like this evil, like, well, not evil, but just like, I don't know, wild and what's the term I'm thinking of? Primitive, like species. But then like in the Book of Boba, you figure out that there's quite a lot to this species, and there's a lot of history to it and everything. So there's definitely culture there. And it was cool learning about that. Will never forgive the show for uh the Vespas racing down the streets of, going 5 miles per hour. And I know that's beating the dead horse. Everyone always talks about it, but like I can never.
the
I was
go
watching
go
Book of Boba Fett the other way, like I was going through the season again, and that came up, and I'm like, oh, this is tough.
the Go Power Ranger bikes.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And they're even like the one girl's like taking it up the stairs, like it's gonna like do like a jump. And I'm like, if you're watching and you're like, at that speed, are you gonna make it up the stairs? Like,
It's gonna die halfway there.
and then go back. But no, like overall, I like Book of Boba Fett. But what we were just trying to say is that there's a lot of good TV episodes in Star Wars, and the fact that Andor, the last 5 episodes, are all in the top 6, at least when I last saw it on IMDb. That's saying something. They were all at scores 9.2 or higher, and most of them were at 9.5 or higher. So that's a job well done. And I fully anticipate they'll win some kind of awards this year. And I mean, I don't know if it's because I focus more on Star Wars, but it's definitely the show I've heard the most positive reviews about, at least so far this year. I think I've heard a lot about Severance. I think that's gotten a lot of good feedback, but I'll be curious to see what kind of awards Andor does take home.
Have you seen Severance?
I have not. I want to.
Okay.
Everyone keeps telling me. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
keeps
on.
telling me I should. Did you like it?
Yeah, yeah. There's 2 seasons. So, and that was the thing. Like the first season came out, and it was like the second season finally came out, but it took like 4 years.
Oh, really? Oh, I
So
hate
everyone
when
was
they do
just
that
like,
because it
what's
loses the
taking?"
luster when you do that.
Yeah, I might be right. It might be 3 years, but still, just like that long of a wait
Yeah.
because I left off on a big cliffhanger in the first season. So everyone was kind of like pissed at like what's taking so long.
In my opinion, if you're doing a show, it needs to be a season every year.
Yeah,
Unless you're
no,
doing like an animated show, because then you can do like 2 seasons a year, because I know like many of them do that just to spit out more content. But if you're like a Star Wars show or just a Netflix show, you need to be spitting out content every year, or it's going to lose some of its luster. And
yeah.
that I feel like that's what happened with Mandalorian too, because there was a long time between season 2 and season 3. A lot of that I think had to do with the writer's strike, maybe, but
I heard that has a big play in it is these writer strikes that occur.
yeah. But
And
it's
then
just
wasn't there also like an actor strike like for like the low budget actors
you might be right. There was a
that
few.
kind
I
of
mean,
halted things?
yeah, because this was all like shortly after COVID, and I feel like there's a
Yeah.
lot of things just going on during that time. I mean, it was such a questionable time that, yeah, you had the writer's strike. There probably was an actors strike or something too. Um, but yeah, it was too much time between seasons, and so Star Wars hopefully learns from that we're getting the next Ahsoka season next year, so that's good. I mean, 2 years is the max. Like if you're anything beyond 2 years,
No,
it's going to lose a lot of its,
that's why I say if it's gonna be like 2 years, better be fucking damn good.
yeah, yeah,
Waiting that long. Others, because that's what the problem is. Like you like roll back and you have to. There's other shows, everything everybody's watching, and it's like, well, I gotta watch a recap or something because I can't
yeah,
remember exactly all the details where we left off from the previous season.
yep,
So
for sure. I know you said there was something about Clea you wanted to speak to about too that
yeah. So with Clea, I said, was there any like yeah closure with her? So what I saw recapping was that okay, and I was like kind of forgetting all the details because we were recapping the whole season. Was that so she went back to that old apartment building that Cassian was holed up in.
yeah,
And then that's where the whole hallway scene with
yep,
K2SO and everything, and they escape. And then I think when they get back to Yavin 4, they ask, "Where is she?" And Cassian said she's recovering in, med bay or whatever.
yeah,
Um, and I think that was kind of like the last you've heard of her. Then I saw an like someone doing like a live interview. He had the Andor poster, and he was at like a whatever Comic-Con
sure.
city he was in, and she was there and had her sign like where her picture was, or like where she was in the poster, and then asked like, "Are you gonna come back, or is there gonna be any future project?" And she said, "Can't tell you."
So
So
yes.
that could be a lie or that could be a tell. I don't know, but if she were to come back, that'd be awesome.
I
So
think
that was pretty much all I just wanted to bring up about her.
if Disney is not at least trying to throw money at Tony Gilroy, or the team that, brought about Andor to do something else, they're totally missing out. Um, I know Tony Gilroy even said like in one way or another, he's done with Star Wars. He doesn't really anticipating doing more, but you know, you can never trust anything like in the news or in like celebrity because or like sports because things can be very strategic too. Because Tony Gilroy could be saying that, being like, if you really want me, show me the money type of a thing, because then it forces Disney to write a bigger check to bring him back. So you never know, and never say never. Everyone has their price. But I mean, you could continue on with some of these characters and lead into, and I think we kind of touched on this last time too, uh, other content that we know about, like the second Death Star. Like we know there were many Bothans that died to obtain the information for the plans of the second Death Star. Who's to say like Clea and Vel and all of them might not have had a role in that, but they probably did. Mon Mothma probably was part of that just as much as obtaining the readouts for the first Death Star. So it's definitely a possibility. And I was also thinking too, do you remember hearing like when Rogue One was first coming out, like when they were in production, how they had to redo a good portion of it because it was too violent? Do you ever remember hearing that?
No, I don't. Really?
Yeah, because when it was first announced and when they were first starting it was being mentioned to be like the Saving Private Ryan of Star Wars.
I could see that. Okay.
And then Rogue One came out. Now, in my opinion, Andor is far more intense and more violent than Rogue One. I mean,
Which one?
just the show Andor. So
Yeah.
Andor season 1 and season 2 is far more violent and more adult than Rogue One, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
So I
I
feel
agree.
like Andor is probably more of the theme that they wanted to go with Rogue One from the beginning. but then had to tame it down. And then with the show, Tony Gilroy was like, I'm doing, because I think it was mentioned that, and one of the stipulations for Tony Gilroy to do this is he's going to do what he wants to do, and like no ifs, and or buts. So maybe like do that again, but a different story with like the second Death Star or something else within this time period with these same characters. And I think it would work. I mean, they did such a great job with this show that there's no reason why it can't be done again. So
Yeah, agreed.
maybe that's what Clea is, or the actress who portrayed Clea is alluding to. The possibility or the potential is always there. And I would love to see it because her character's still alive, so she definitely can do more.
Hmm.
And I thought it was fascinating too to hear that this was her first major role of any TV show or movie, and she was like phenomenal.
I still find that just outstanding to hear that.
This
Just
show is going to make her bank. She's going to get paid a lot of money in some
oh
upcoming
yeah.
projects just because of how good of a job she did.
And I truly hope. Sometimes you don't see it like follow through, but most of the time, I really hope her career like takes off from here.
Because of this. I love it. Um, all right, well, should we segue into Tales of the Underworld?
Yeah, we'll
All right.
start, I guess, with the first
Yeah,
three
so
episodes. Can I ask, I guess,
yeah.
really quick question? Because I watched Tales of the Jedi,
Yeah.
and each episode was its own.
It Tales of the Jedi was structured a little differently, but it was also just um kind of stories around two characters. One arc was around Ahsoka and the other arc was around Dooku, but they
Okay,
did it like the first episode was about Ahsoka, the next three were about Dooku, and then the last two were about Ahsoka.
okay.
And
And
then
then
they did
what's the other series named?
Tales of the Empire.
I have not seen that yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Is that structured differently
that's
then?
structured the same as Tales of the Underworld. So that
Okay,
in that the first three are about one character, and then the second three episodes are about another character.
okay.
Sorry, my throat's a little dry. I've been coughing lately, so apologize for the listeners listening to me cough all the time. Um, yeah, so you'll need to watch that. Um, I won't say anything about it.
Yeah.
I'll let you watch it and then
It-
get your opinion from it when you see it.
It'll be for a future podcast that we
There
can
you
talk
go.
about it
There you
then.
go. And I can
I
rewatch
got
it
some
so I
I
can
got some
refresh
I got
it.
some homework to do. Thanks,
um,
Mudge.
yeah, you're welcome. Should call me Mr. Mudge, like a teacher or something like that.
Thanks
Giving you
you.
homework.
Thank you, Mr. Mudge.
Um,
May I go to the bathroom? No.
no, no,
I'm
you
kidding.
you ran out of hall passes for this
Yeah, I'm out of hall
for this
passes.
month. Um, Depending on timing, what we'll do is we'll talk about the ASAJJ Ventress arc, and then if we have enough time, we'll go into the Cad Bane. If not, we will save that for our next episode. Um, but I, a Saj story, I definitely really enjoyed. I love how now you probably haven't read Dark Disciple, have you?
No.
So were you kind of lost at the beginning of the first episode? Were you like, what's going on here?
I guess I've read and seen kind of synopsis and everything. I guess I wasn't completely like, what the fuck is going on? I
Sure.
kind of understood what was kind of going on a little bit, but I was still a little confused, had questions, but then I was like, well, I'll look into that later and never did, but like just let the story go because I never finished Clone Wars. Was it Clone Wars? Does she die?
No, she doesn't die. She dies in Dark Disciple. That's a book.
Okay. So
Um,
that maybe that's where I got a little confused because I think I was watching someone kind of like fill in the backstory on a YouTube like things you might have missed or things you were having questions about, and then I think what is it like? There's some channels I watch like Screen Crush or whatever. They
sure.
like break it down,
Yeah.
and they said that yeah that's pretty much like kind of like her getting being brought back to life. But maybe you could fill in maybe some of the gaps I'm so confused about because like who is she talking to? Like all these like sisters or whatever that like
Yeah,
brought her back to life, but they're like telling her like she has to choose.
that's what you're missing from Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few good episodes in Clone Wars. I can't remember the season. It's probably like season 3, season 4, or something like that. But it goes into like Dathomir, which is where she's from. Um, which so they're the Night Sisters. It's essentially this like cult. I'm not gonna say cult. I mean, it's a species, but it's a clan that of these like Amazonian type, female warriors.
Because
And
that's because maybe that's where I was getting at was it was in the one game
yeah, yep,
that I had played, the Fallen Order.
yep. So it's the same. So like Maul's species is also from that planet.
Yeah.
They're like the brothers of Dathomir, and then the Night Sisters are like the sisters of Dathomir. Um, and they're force wielders, but in kind of a different way. They're more of like a sorcery magic type of a thing. And so the person that was speaking is named Mother Tolzien. She was kind of like the head of the Night Sisters when ASAJJ Ventress was a part of that. Um, and all of her sisters were like the people that were showing, or the because they showed like cloud figures of the sisters popping up, right? Like
Yep.
undead. Because they become part of their power is they can raise the dead to fight like that. And there's kind of a not a zombie, but like you remember Lord of the Rings when they in
Return of the
the
King.
Return of the King when the ghost essentially like wiped out. There's something similar to that. Like they can raise the dead and use them. So that was probably where you were lost there.
I
But
like a little bit, but I can understand. Like I get what it was. Yeah, I wasn't like,
you
what the
weren't
heck?
totally lost. You were just like, okay, don't know who those. You could follow along with what was going on, but
Yeah.
makes
Like I said,
sense.
I've seen a lot of clips between Clone Wars and other things that it. If I had to educate a guess, that's exactly what you said. It was kind of like where I was leaning, so I
Yeah.
wasn't that lost.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, but that was the beginning part. And I was like, just go with the ride. Where we go next? Because that was
Yeah.
the first episode. That was only the first episode. It's like, okay, where's Ventures going next?
Yeah. Because Grievous came in with his clones and essentially wiped out the Night Sisters, and not all of them. I mean, ASAJJ Ventress is still
Yeah.
there. Um, so that's kind of. I think if I'm trying to remember correctly, I think that's part of what had her turn back against like Dooku, because like you know Dooku worked with um Grievous. So she has her revenge that she wants to take on with them. But yeah, she died in Dark Disciple, saving Quinlan Voss, who was the one carrying her at the beginning of that first episode, the Jedi. Um, because in Dark Disciple, they kind of teamed up Quinlan Voss with Ventress to go after Dooku, and they used Quinlan as kind of like a person to keep like his eyes on her because she's was part of the Sith and everything. And there was a love story that developed into it, and but it was more of an organic love story, so it didn't really take away from it. But she sacrificed herself for him to like destroy this monster at the end of the book, and he survived and she didn't. So then he was bringing her back to their home world, I think. Yeah, because Mother Tolzien was there. And then Mother Tolzien gives her this choice, which is, I want to know what the consequence of that choice was, because we really didn't get that, did we? Because she had a choice to either be alive again or then be with her sisters, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. I think you're right.
But I want to know what the consequence is. Does that mean like when she dies, she will no longer be eternal with her sisters? I don't know. So, um, but yeah, I was so in the first episode, she's like working in this what was that kind of job that they were doing? Do you remember?
I thought it was like kind of um like a boarding place, like I'm looking for a room.
That's right.
It's like a
No, it
hotel.
was it for flights because
Or
they
no,
were.
yeah, that's what it was. It was
It's like a transport.
for the transports. Yep.
Yep.
Because the one Jedi that's like a Padawan looking Jedi was trying to like that's not enough credits.
Right.
Like I need to get on that ship. That's what it was. It was a like a flight schedule boarding place or
Yep.
whatever.
Um, I love the like Western feel to these because did you get
Yeah.
that sense with both actually both series? They had the very Western touch to it, which we know was part of the original intent of Star Wars. It was like a Western space opera type of a thing. So they were really playing homage to that. So the even the soundtracks were very Western kind of tones to it. But yeah, like you said, it comes across this young Jedi and she figures it out right away because he tries to do like the Jedi mind
I
trick.
I was just gonna get to that when he kept trying to use the mind trick, and they're like, "The fuck you doing?" Like
And she's like, hmm.
he does it again. He does it like four times, and they're like, "Oh, do you think some sort of Jedi or something?" Because clearly it's not working.
But
And
you
then all of a
know, in
sudden
the back,
she's like, "Ah, fuck!" And then she has to intervene.
yeah. And then she turns around and does the mind trick on the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'm trying to remember, I wrote it down because I couldn't. Lyko, the young Jedi guy. That's when Lyko was like, "Wait a minute, you're a Jedi," even though we know she's not a Jedi. But I mean, she started in the Jedi Order as a Padawan, but um, so gives the indication to him that she's force sensitive and everything, and she knows what's going on, that these stormtroopers and that there's inquisitors out there essentially hunting all of them down. And now she has a conscience because she's turning her life around. So her conscience is like, all right, I need to get this kid out of there. And
Well, I gotta say, what a selfish bitch the gal that was
oh, I
running the shop.
know. What a dick.
Like she's like hiring Ventress as like a cheap soldier, pretty much, or bodyguard, or whatever you want to call it, security guard. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, what's the reward?" And then she's like, "He's right behind there. He's right behind my desk." It's like,
Which great strategy. We're already talking about like a Western thing, which is like kind of a lawless type of a, setting. And you're doing that to your bodyguard. So
yeah,
the person who's more powerful than you're going to sell them out. Probably not a good idea.
yeah. I
So
think
they,
doesn't her shop just get like all torn up too? It's like good
yeah,
for
if I mean, they're shooting up stuff and everything. So I think you're right. I don't think she dies though. I think she
no, she
survives.
doesn't die, but her
Yeah.
whole shop is all shot up to hell, and
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
you deserve that.
So then her Ventress and Lyco are kind of on the run. She's trying to get him to safety. Um, did she already know about the path? She knew about the path, right? And that
Who?
was her plan, Ventress.
Ventra? Yeah, 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 yep.
She just
I'm
didn't
pretty I'm
know
pretty sure.
she just didn't know Quinlan Voss's involvement of that until later in the episode, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because I remember Lyco mentioned that, that it was started by Quinlan Voss, and then she got intrigued when he dropped that name only because it's her lover from Dark Disciple. But anyway, so they're on the run. She's trying to get them to safety, and then of course they encounter an Inquisitor, which that was kind of a cool fight. A little disappointing that he kind of bested Ventress, but then sneak attack from the young Jedi and double
Oh yeah,
penetrates.
yeah.
Which I guess
Hey,
that's their way of making sure that someone dies. If
it
one
has to be
lightsaber
two this
might, there
time.
has to be two. You're dead if there's two lightsabers.
The only one that can't that the only one that dies from one is Qui-Gon Jinn, apparently.
Yeah, poor
God,
guy.
I'm just so sick and tired of every time I see scenes of like one stab, but they're like alive. Like it's the Obi-Wan series. I still can't. She got it twice.
She got it twice and still survived.
It still survived. I'm like, what the f fuck is this? Like my one of my favorite characters in Qui-Gon Jinn, because I just love Liam Neeson as an
Yeah.
actor. He goes out like that. Like what the God? Like at least they fixed it this time with two lightsabers.
Right, yeah. Make sure this Inquisitor's dead.
Yeah,
But that was a cool lightsaber battle.
yeah, it totally was.
I would say that this first episode was probably my favorite of the three, primarily because of the lightsaber duel with the Inquisitor and ASAJJ Ventress and everything.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, so yeah, episode one, A Way Forward. Episode two, A Miss. Trying to recall what happened to this one. Totally spacing.
Yeah, you have to like help me recollect too, because I'm trying to remember now.
Because the third one is where they get to they're on kind of like a desert planet, and they encounter, well, they're low on water and everything. They're on that, like, I don't know, turtle camel looking thing.
And
And
and and
they
what
encounter the separatist general and his like granddaughter, I think it is, or niece or something like that. And they've got the like um battle droids like as scarecrows out in front of the house and everything.
Yep, yep. And because he used to be part of the Empire and everything, but he was like, I don't know what his like. I'm trying to remember what his motive is. But they run in because they're trying to find water.
Yep.
And what's the young Jedi's name again? You said
Lyco.
Lyko learns how to like speak the language of the tribe.
Yep.
They're like, that's our water.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they become friends, and right? And then at some point, don't they help try to get him to where he needs to go on the planet? Is that right?
Well, no, they're staying there, but the struggle was that so that former separatist general or whatever and his daughter or niece or granddaughter or niece, they they were always running out of water. And whenever they would go to try and get water, it was always dangerous. They would encounter these species and
That's where he like lost his legs or
yep,
whatever.
yep. Um so but what was going on is like that tribe or whatnot looked at them as a threat because they were like stealing their water. So the Jedi kid essentially found the middle ground and be like, you can benefit from each other from this. So they got him to make an agreement and they could share the water in response for, like, I don't know, protection, or I can't recall. Um and then it's from there that they get to, or that Ventress brings Lyco to the spaceship, that the transport that's going to the path or whatever. And then
Yep, that's what it was.
she says goodbye to him. Oh, that, yeah, because they were looking for um the separatist general knew where like the path were meeting,
Yeah,
but he wasn't going to reveal that to them until they helped them get the water from the species or whatever. Okay, so
like
that's
it
coming
was the
back
whole
again.
exchange
Yeah.
for yeah.
So then they got the directions to go to the path, and they say their goodbyes, and then Ventress leaves and the ship takes off, but then you see that the kid joined up with her again and is like, no, I'm not going anywhere without you. So clearly he's going to be some kind of Padawan or trainee apprentice to ASAJJ Ventress, and probably be like some comic line that comes out continuing their story or something like that.
Didn't
Um,
some didn't something happen towards the end too? Because she saw saw the ship leave,
yep.
and I thought she was leaving, but didn't she run into some trouble? And he like came out of nowhere and helped. And she's like, "What are you doing here? You should have been on that ship." Or am I getting that?
I don't
Am I
think she
getting
ran into trouble. I'm trying to remember. I know he
okay?
handed
Because
her
she could.
water. He handed her water again or something like that.
Oh, okay. Because there was some weird conflict that, like at the very end. She's like, "What? What are you doing here? You should have been on
Yeah.
that ship."
Yeah.
And then
Because
he just being like a little like, "Oh," I'm going with you. You're my master now." And she
Yeah,
goes like, "Oh
friend,
God,"
because
and she's like,
she
"God
dropped the
damn
word
it."
friend once with him, so now he's like fixated on I'm your friend. So
Yeah.
he like made fun of that a little bit.
Which I
Um,
appreciate, like seeing that kind of like that turn with Ventress is like how what I've seen so far in Clone Wars, but then like seeing this part of her like reborn,
yeah,
and she's doing now kind of like doing good.
yeah.
I really enjoy that. So I'll let you continue. I forget how we finished this story. This was
That's
episode 2, right?
no, that was episode 3, so that's
That
how
was
it
3.
finished.
Okay,
I
so
couldn't remember what episode 2 is, but now I remember. Episode 2 is where they encounter those like um other bounty hunters. It's that chick with the like assassin droid type of a thing.
oh yeah. Okay, yep.
And because she knows where the path is. So then at
And it was like an old friend of Vetrus, right?
yeah,
But
an
then
old friend of
they like backstab each other, or like at least does, or
yeah, what's her name? Mats,
because
I want to say.
because it was like this whole like bounty for Jedis
Yep.
was so high that she kind of like turned around and backstabbed Ventra and and whatever his name is. I keep forgetting Lucas. I don't know.
Lyco.
Lyco.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they were so this I'm trying to it's not working for I think it's like Mats or something like that. Her name is
That sounds right. Yeah, that
the
sounds right.
she said she'll help them out if they help her out with the score they're trying to get. Like they're going into like the Imperial like ship
Oh yeah,
factory or
to
something.
get that like whatever data thing, whatever
Yeah,
that was in that the sphere.
yeah, from Star Destroyers that you see, the like
Yeah,
communications thing.
Trade Federation spheres, whatever, right? Was it one of those?
I think it was the well, I think it's from like those Imperial Star Destroyer spheres, but it might
Oh, okay.
one or the other. I mean, it's a ship cruiser. They're trying to get the data from it. Um, but yeah, so the Mats, or we'll just say it's Mats. Says we'll help you out. We'll let you know where the path is. In return for helping us out. And then Matt's like warns Lyko the Jedi, like, I wouldn't trust her. She'll backstab you. So, join us more or less. And sure enough, it's Matt's and the droid that turn on them, selling them out because once that data was lost, she's like, well, screw it. I can't get that money now. So I'll just get the money for turning you in because you're with a Jedi and get the money from that. But Ventress and Lyco they end up escaping, and then that sets up for the episode 3 that we talked through. Um, the thing I'm trying to figure out, and I should know this, but where does this fall? Did you watch Bad Batch?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because she shows up in Bad Batch as well. Excuse me, she shows up in the last season of Bad Batch. I think there was 3 seasons of that, and in the last few episodes. And Bad Batch is like post Order 66. And I think this was obviously post Order 66, but still early Galactic Empire. So I don't know what happens first. Like, is she alive? Since you haven't watched, I'm not asking you this question. I'm more asking just listeners and in general. Is her in the Bad Batch supposed to be after she's been like resurrected and like on her own now? But Lyco is not with her at that. Or is Bad Batch before the book Dark Disciple, and then she dies in the end of Dark Disciple? So I'll propose that question out to listeners. If you know that, let me know. Um, but I really enjoy the show or this arc. It's really quick, so it's tough to get too invested into it. So obviously the stakes aren't going to be as high. It's just more giving some more filler information that I think this is Disney's way of being like, all right, if we did more with this character, how well would it be received? It's like a testing ground for characters that could have potential more stories. That's kind of my thought process there.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it was Dave Filoni, right?
Mm-hmm.
oversaw, like was the overseer on this. So
Yeah, he did
as
these.
as always, that
Yep.
can't go wrong with having him being the showrunner for some of these cartoon seasons like this. So
Yeah.
and for the viewers out there, I mean, you can go through this quick and within an hour and a half. Like I think each episode was like 20 minutes long max.
Yep. It's shorter than like Clone Wars or Rebels episodes. It's
Yeah,
really quick. You
but
can
the content is heavy enough to really
yeah,
have some weight of like understanding some of these characters. So
yeah.
that's the part I enjoyed. It was like, well, that ended already? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I felt like I just watched like I said, if it was 15 minutes, it felt like I watched like a 45-minute show. Like it was just so much to take in.
Yeah. Yep. Um and I'm just looking at the time. We'll probably wait on the Cad Bane story for the next episode, but I think I enjoyed the um ASAJJ Ventress arc more than the Cad Bane. I
Oh,
like both.
really?
Yeah, I like
Uh,
both. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I have a different
I
opinion.
I
So,
really like the Cad Bane story.
I mean, I do love me some
There's
Cad Bane,
there was something about it that like I don't know, just
but betrayal was definitely a common theme in both of these arcs. Because
oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, in the first episode of Asajj, it's the store owner that betrays Asajj by being like, oh, there's a Jedi with them, and then the second episode, it's her old friend kind of betrays her, and okay, we can't get the score, so I'm going to turn in you guys. And then episode 3 of that arc, it's kind of the opposite. It's bringing people together, and um,
Yeah.
the Jedi has a chance to go on his own, but he's like, no, my loyalty is with you, so I'm going to stay with you. So I thought that was pretty cool that you got 2 betrayal episodes and then you've got a loyalty episode. So that didn't go the way in the Cad Bane. It was betrayal the whole way. Well, it kind of
Yep.
started with a loyalty and then it ended in betrayal, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to
We'll hold on it.
put a hold on it next week. I might have to rewatch it, but I don't know. I just like seeing the backstory of Cad Bane just because I guess I haven't seen enough. Is he more in? He's not in.
He's in both
Uh,
Clone Wars and Rebels. Is he in Rebels?
I think he is
Yeah,
in.
he's in Bad Batch. He's in
Or is
Bad
it Bad
Batch.
Batch? Okay, I'm thinking it was Bad Batch. Okay,
Maybe
but
he's
I
not in
haven't seen
Rebels.
enough.
He's in Bad
I haven't
Batch.
seen enough of that. But after seeing Book of Boba Fett, and everyone's saying like, "Oh, Cad Bane," but then there was like, "Oh, they did him dirty," because how they like.
I think he's still alive. He's not dead.
Oh yeah, he gotta be still alive.
He's still
You could make
alive.
so much more content with him,
Yeah.
and him and between him and Boba Fett and their like whatever tiff that they got between each other, like um, and just like his persona, but just seeing him like the backstory of like his uprising, like or his upbringing
Yeah.
was I thought was entertaining. So we'll talk about that next week, but just like the whole storyline, I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll continue to reiterate. I love Western. I love that kind of
That's what
genre.
that's what
And
it
he's
felt
like
like.
definitely like the Western cowboy type
He's totally
guy.
got the Clint
The band.
Eastwood
Oh yeah, the exactly.
with the hat with the cowboy or whatever
And his voice
Western
is
hat,
so good. It's perfect for his character.
and he's got the bullet belt,
Yep.
and he's got the bullet
He's got the 2 guns.
yep, and then he's got the bullet chains or like Mando has it too, but he has it for whatever. I don't know why he still has that, but because he lost his rifle thing that shot
Yeah.
those like incinerator bullets.
Yeah, the canister things. Yeah.
Yeah, but but Cad Bane's got that around his around his like shin on his boots, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's like, and then I don't even know if his boots even got like the whole what do you call it with the with the
The
shirt like
Spurs. The
the
Spurs.
spurs that makes the ching noise.
Dude,
Yep,
that
like
that Book of Boba Fett episode, the when he like comes into town where Cobb Vanth is and they get into
yeah,
that little like, dude, that was so badass. I'm like, this is Star Wars, man. This Western like or Western space opera.
To end the episode like that was like, oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, you should watch there are some really good Clone Wars episodes with him in there, so you would probably get a good kick out of them if you haven't seen those yet.
Okay. That on the watch
Um,
list.
yeah, it's just gonna keep growing, right?
I know.
How far did you?
Oh, okay.
Because for a
Okay,
while
miss.
we were doing like bogey recaps of how far he is. Like, how far along are you on Clone Wars right
I
now?
took a time out on time.
Oh, I'm sure, but like, how far did you get?
I think I'm into season 2, I think.
Okay, okay. So
How many seasons are
you're
there?
close to there's 7, and
Okay.
7 is just pinnacle.
I know
Clone Wars so good.
you were telling me how like it just keeps progressively getting
Oh,
better and better. Because I know
you're
I told you some of the last episodes that I was watching were kind of cringe with just like the droids and their fucking antics. I'm
yeah.
just like,
Season 2 they
oh,
made a change definitely in the direction, and then so it gets better, and then like I think it's either I think it's starting season 3. It just gets really good, and you start to really get invested in the stories and the different stories that are taking place. So,
okay.
and hey, there's only Visions coming out for the rest of the year, so maybe you can fill in that time with some more seasons of Clone Wars, and then you can follow that with
Yes,
Rebels, and then you can follow it with Bad Batch.
yes, sir, Mr. Mudge.
Mr. Mudge, right there.
I
There
got
you go.
plenty of homework to do.
Homework to do. Love it. All right. Well, I think we will wrap it up there. Like we said, we'll save the Cad Bane arc of Tales of the Underworld for next week. But yeah, definitely really love Tales of the Underworld. Um, they've been doing a really good job with these like tales of the seasons. So looking forward to more coming out. I'm sure they'll have more.
Thank you, Dave Filoni.
Yeah, thank
Keep
you,
it
Dave
going.
Filoni, for sure.
Keep it going.
Just keep going. So yeah, if you're listening to us, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Like this video, drop a comment, rate, review, all the above. We greatly appreciate it. We will be having a prize giveaway at 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and then we'll have an even bigger giveaway at 500. Make sure you're public so we know who you are, and if you so we can enter you into the drawing. With that, any final thoughts, Bogey?
No, appreciate you all that are listening. I know content is kind of low, but hey, let's have fun.
Yeah,
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
this is when our creativity starts coming out and we figure out other things to do. So we'll have fun
And
with
like I said,
that.
I got homework to do, I
You've
guess.
got homework. You've got homework. All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. And we look forward to next week for talking more Star Wars. So as always, may the force be with you.
Thanks for calling. This is Han Solo, and I'm going to be keeping you company for the next few hours right here on the Midnight Shift. Something's